Let's get her started, shall we? As usual, gotta wake up the old joints. The song we left off on Monday. Trying it out a new time today. At the request of, well, mostly YouTube. So ran myself a poll to see, who'd be more likely to tune in at what time. Now, on Twitter, 11 o'clock a.m. won. 1 o'clock p.m. missed first place, or tied, would have gotten first place had it not been for one, maybe two votes. On YouTube, 1 o'clock p.m. got 75% of the vote. Out of 31 votes, I don't know how many that is off the top of my head. I'm sure I could math it out if I wasn't so lazy, but that's not the point. So, we're going to go forward a little bit, trying 1 o'clock and seeing what happens. I see we got Alicia in the chat, looking over here, like the camera's here, computer's here. So that's why. Good afternoon. Alrighty then. Apparently something's going on with YouTube. Interesting. Make sure that notification bell is activated. Now then, it feels a little warmer today than it did on Monday. Maybe that's just because we're getting into the afternoon now. Things are heating up slightly. It's good though. We need to sweat. Remember to share this along with everybody you know. Let's see if we can get them sweating too. Ah, goodness, my neck is stiff. Now then. Okay. I'm always going to be paranoid about that ceiling fan. We installed that ceiling fan and it's got kind of a hang. I was told it was a flush mount when I bought it, but it looked like the only way to hang it was with that down rod. But the down rod removes precious inches from my already low ceiling. Let's go back to elementary and middle school for a second here, right? Now, if my pale-skinned, morbidly obese self can hop and touch the ceilings are not built to regulation. There we go. Another thing is I don't have any water. I'm going to have to go get some water here though. Hi there, Redwall. How you doing? Good. What kind of exercises are we doing today, Redwall? Are we doing more ring fit, or are we doing something else? Where was I? Just did torso twist. Okay, got to do hips now. There we go. I will make sure to power through my exercises so that you don't overwork yourself like you did the last couple of times. Okay. Hips are feeling all right. Toe touches. Yeah, we'll do toe touches now. Their knee bends. Got to wake up the knee joints first. There we go. Reach down, touch them toes. Touch the floor if you can. Make sure those knees are locked back. Good afternoon, Crazy Whore. How you doing today? Alright, that does it for the standing exercises, or the standing stretches rather. Now we gotta get some floor. There we go, squat stretch. One leg straight, other leg bent, heels on the ground. Followed by butterfly. Followed by grabbing the remote. That's unfortunate. Crazy whore. I assure you, you are not the only one. Let's see here. Not that I would know anything about it. There we go. I'm told a good yoga session can help relieve some of the cramps. Goodness, I'm stiff as a board today, guys. Might have to do with the temperature. Sucker's a little bit colder than usual out here. There we go. Right leg's a lot more limber today. Not that this flexibility is any good anyhow. Since we couldn't drive, I was walking to and from his Airbnb along with walking to the local restaurants. Pretty cool there, Red Wall. Walking is a great way of burning calories. Probably one of the best. Especially if you're just out there doing it all day. There we go. Now for these splits. Open up and pull forward. There we go. There we go. All right. Still got to do the calf stretch and the lumbar stretch. All right. The old joints are a little stiff today, boys. All right. I'm actually going to turn that music up slightly. Let's try bringing it up to -10, see what happens. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go grab a sip of water. Forgot to pick that up off the ground. Can't just be leaving weapons laying around, that's not safe. Alright. Yep, let's see how far we can go. I like that attitude. Don't forget, guys. Feel free to ask me any questions. One of my favorite things to do is interact with chat while I'm doing all this. I'm not a doctor, but I'll take a look anyway. We're always looking to learn something new every day if we can. Something that was funny, and I haven't really much looked into it. Just keep that in mind as I continue to talk here, is that after my first stream in November, and I titled that, I need to come up with some kind of clever, you know, NNN parody name for these streams. And after I posted that, I had somebody come in my comments section and say, did you know that No Nut November, God, I feel ridiculous even saying the name. Did you know that No Nut November is alt-right dog whistle or propaganda or something like that? And I'm like, genuinely, I have not heard this. And I said, what's the story? And he says, I'm assuming, whoever's telling me this is a guy. But he says that it was started while there was a rise of white supremacy. I'll explain that in a minute. A rise of white supremacy in America after Obama got elected. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's interesting. I usually have a pretty good finger on the pulse of memes and meme culture in general. And I had genuinely never heard this. So, it might be ridiculous, right? It might be made up. So I asked that question. I said, where did you hear this? Can I see it? Because for those reasons I just mentioned, but also, this was the same period of time. Like, I remember No Nut November starting to become a meme around those early 2000s times, right? And so goodness, it's hard to think with the music. So, correlation does not necessarily equal causation. Just because Barack Obama gets elected and there's a bunch of people saying that white supremacy is on the rise, and then this happens at the same time, does not mean that they're related. I feel like I would have heard if they were related. Never got an answer, so who knows. But I thought it was funny. Oh, hang on. Gotta fix that move. That just got changed. There we go. So, even though I am a karate teacher, the thing about karate is that you literally, once you start, you never stop learning it. Especially if you keep training, past your first degree. So I said that to say this. I have a teacher myself but I opened up Brawny's dojo, and then I reached out to one of the other Ishinru guys in the city and said, would you mind if I came and trained with you just to make sure I'm staying sharp and staying up to date? And so I went over there. I go over there and I train with him occasionally. And I learned a lot of good stuff. He changed some of the moves to the katas that I do. And one by one, a bunch of those moves are getting changed back. Now, I was doing Seimchin earlier, and after I did these blocks here, I came and I stepped forward to do these blocks. But the only reason I stepped forward there, here, down block, step back, down block, and then I stepped forward, but I'm really supposed to be stepping back. Step back. And the reason I did that was because I'm kind of low on space in here. Now then, back to what I was originally talking about. There was one move he corrected from Seimchin. It was here, right? And I'm going to reverse it because it's normally done the other direction. But it was supposed to be hammer fist to here and then reinforced Oizuki to the elbow. And the way I had first learned it was just shift back into cat and then shuffle and then shuffle. And he was like, no, it's just hammer fist to shift. And then my teacher's teacher came down from Pennsylvania and put the shift to cat stance back in and the shuffle back in. And I thought that was funny. Fast forward to Monday, I get off stream. The rec center that I teach out of had canceled the classes for the night. So I'm like, okay, let me just go down to the other dojo and I'll do training, right? And invited my students. Nobody came, not a big deal. But my teacher just got back from Okinawa, and we're doing this third one that I just did called Nahanchi, and we go through the whole thing. Now, the first time I learned it, let me turn around so you'll get a better view here. First time I learned it, it was the only time in the Ishinryu curriculum that there's a side kick that doesn't rechamber. It's just blade of the foot out, locks out, and then down. Where every other time you get the rechamber, which is where you pull the knee back after you launch the kick. So, he says, so when I started training with him, he said, okay, adjust your Nahanchi, so when you get to here, you do that kick, it goes forward. It's a 45-degree blade kick from the basics, where we're straight on and we kick kind of sort of off to the side but low. And there's a reason for that. So, low blade kick with a rechamber into here. He just got back from Okinawa, a big karate seminar with like 4,000 people. They said, no, it is supposed to be yokogeri. It's supposed to be side kick that goes straight off to the side instead of a little bit in front, straight off to the side, but the rechamber is still there. So, in a way, I've now learned this kata 3 times. Which martial artist would you want to train me? That's a real interesting question. I'd have to think about it for a bit. Because there's a lot of them that I really looked up to and wanted to be like, and really still do. Bruce Lee, like, I'm assuming we're talking historically famous martial artists, right? Bruce Lee had some of the best fitness of his time. Chuck Norris, legitimate world champion, very good fighter. I could also say Bill Wallace. Who else? I just had the name in head. Benny Urquidez, the best kickboxer of all time. Benny Urquidez. And I will stand on business and say the best kickboxer of all time. Man's got a 60-0 record. When I was younger, I wanted to be Jackie Chan. And not necessarily like Jackie Chan. Well, I suppose like Jackie Chan, right? But the thing was, is I love cameras. I love martial arts. I love telling stories. So I thought I'd put it all together and get into filmmaking. I wanted to be a choreographer. So that was Jackie Chan's whole thing. Was he choreographed? He did the art. And he directed the film. It was really cool, and I wanted to be that. The more I get into karate, I kind of wish I could have been there for the old school of like classical, traditional karate. The old masters of Ishinryu that my teachers have trained with. I wish I could have been there when Shotokan was being developed. Or come in the early days of Kyokushin. Not that the teachers that I've had were bad by any means. In fact, the teachers I had were still are still some of the best in the world. some of the people I've trained with in Ishinru are nationally accomplished, some even accomplished on the world stage with world records. I'm very lucky that they put up with me, because not many people put up with me. I don't even put up with me. Good morning, Nathan. All right. You know what else I'm going to say while I'm out here talking is Redwall's in the chat doing Ring Fit. You know what I'd go ahead and say? He's probably doing a more intense workout than me. Because his goal is to try to do it for as long as I'm doing it. And I'm doing some pretty low intensity stuff right now. And I do so for, goodness, at least a half hour before I get into the really intense stuff. And he's still out there doing Ring Fit the whole time. I gotta get me a Ring Fit and see if I can do that for 2 hours straight. To see how we compare. This morning, is it still morning for you? I'm in the afternoon for me, but I'm doing all right. A little stiff, a little cold. Recovering from a bit of an anxiety, depression attack last night, but we're still here, and we're still getting through it. Strength is a choice. And even though the heart threatens to give out on a regular basis, it still beats. And as long as it beats, we're here. Ethan saying it's still morning there. Alrighty. You know, maybe 1 o'clock is a better time to start streaming. Time zones are a thing. Oh, I just realized I might have to take a break in a second here and send a quick text message to one of my students. Make sure they know we're back training at the usual spot tonight. I got to get out of that rec center, guys. There we go. All right, that takes care of the kata warm-up. Excuse me for a moment while I go send that text message. I'll be right back. Sorry about this. All right, I'm back. Let's see here. Oh, yep. Let's see here. How many people we got watching? One viewer. Haha. Warrior pose and flutter kicks are pretty good. Let's get back to the routine, shall we? Flutter kicks, real good at working the lower abs. All right, here we go. I might need to find a better position for that tower, because right here the table sort of blocks it. All right, let's go. Little hang. All right, let's do it. Still only got 8. All right. Where are those cups from? The one that I'm drinking out of? It's a fast food chicken chain. It's called Huey Magoo's. All right. They serve tenderloins, and it is our favorite. At least as far as chicken goes. For burgers and fast food, we tend to default to Culver's when we can. All right, let's go. Stop thinking about food, Brawny. This is why you're 30 pounds overweight. Rah! All right. Ha! Whew. Come on. There we go. Pain in the neck clock. Yeah, definitely we should compare stats. I'll tell you right now, I would bet money you've got way better cardio than I do. And there's a not zero chance you can do more pull-ups too. Whew. Okay. Oh, the rewards, my bad. Yeah, so that at the bottom there, that's the tip jar. If you have a question, or you'll just want to support the stream in general, or if you want to see me do, I mean, it says push-ups right there, but I suppose it could be anything, right? Leave a tip. It collects. We did have some emergency expenses come up this month that I'm trying to work towards, and that's what the goal is. But don't worry too much about that. I can't go into too many details this time. Hi, Rusty. How you doing? Let's see now. Well, yeah. Stretch the back. All right, let's go. All right, 887 is not bad. Yeah, it's better than before. Actually, it is pretty bad, but it's still better than it was for me. Boy, I'm not feeling it today, guys. Whew. Okay. 2 minutes on the rest timer. Yeah, there's a lot of different workouts I want to try. Red wall. Whew. I want to try Ring Fit. Oh, I better get on camera. I want to try Ring Fit. I want to try learning more katas by video. That would probably be like a month-long series. What else do I want to do? I want to try P90X. I tried P90X back in like 2012. I was in a little bit better shape back then. It beat the frick out of me, like bad. That was awesome. So I want to come back to it and try it again. So next up, we're doing core exercises. Tell me what core exercises you want to see me do. We're doing 1 minute on, 30 seconds off for 3 sets. All right. Oh yeah, we like getting beat up in this dojo. That's how we get stronger. Okay, let's find our framing. Let's see here. Maybe I'll face the other way. Scoot back a little bit. There we go. Oh, hey, a tip.
Alicia donated $10. Hope I can help a little bit towards your goal. Don't hurt
thank
yourself
you.
by overdoing things.
I can't make any promises on that. Okay. Oh, that was the wrong button. Dang it, I did it again. Okay, here we go. 1 minute on. 0 seconds. Let's see, though. Less time. Put 30 seconds on this rest time. Three rounds, not 5. And let's begin. Nobody said anything, so I'm gonna do sit-ups. I'm gonna grab my lapels here. I'm constantly yelling at my students to quit doing sit-ups by throwing their arms up. You grab onto your lapels or hug your chest, and you don't really get to throw very much, if any, of your arms to assist with the sit-up. That's cheating. I don't like cheaters. They piss me off. Good stuff. If you liked that saying so much, Rusty, you should clip it. Give me the frickin' engagement on Twitch. Alright, for the next one, let's do dead bugs. Oh, legs are locking up. Did I not stretch those enough? That's weird. Whew. Oh. Oh. Goodness, why were my hip flexors so weak today? sit-throughs, Crazy Horror. I don't even know what those are. Closest thing I have in my head is V-sits, which are like this, right? And then hold those for a while. We're done with core though. So let's get the rest timer on, and we'll hang out for a couple of minutes. There we go. Yeah, my hip flexors are all tight and weak today. Right in the adductors, the inner thighs. Maybe I'll do some more stretches while we wait. Okay, that feels better. Next up is the kettlebell segment. Still not looking forward to it. I still hate the freaking kettlebell segment. All right, there we go. Grab my kettlebells. And we'll hit this timer. Sip of water first. There we go. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, still only getting 8. Good spirit, Redwall, keep it up. I'm only about halfway through though. In the future, I might even recommend waiting to start your ring fit until I'm actually started with like tower. Okay. 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 Oh. I'm actually getting a bit of acid reflux here. No good. Oh, I'm glad you're doing those stretches, crazy whore. Good on you. Oh. In situations like this, my wife actually looks up yoga by bird. Oh, another tip.
Do you know any quarter staff or polearm katas? Polearms are one type of weapon I'd like to specialize in.
Polearms. I'll answer that question in a second. Anyway, as I was saying, crazy whore. In your situation, my wife looks up yoga by bird. And she has a yoga routine that's supposedly designed to assist and alleviate cramps. So, you can reach out to Princess Petals Blossom, maybe she'll tell you. Or I'll have her send me a link. But yeah, definitely my yoga routine is designed for flexibility in the legs, mostly to improve circulation and prevent injury. Now then, to get to the question, pole arms. Rah! Let's see here. Quarterstaff or pole arms. So, you might have noticed back here, I got a whole bag of staffs. So, how many of these do I know? There's in Ishinru, there are 2 staff comites. One where it's staff versus staff, in which case it's, it's called bow kumite. So there's an offense and a defense, so that's technically 2. And then there's also bow sai, where you fight a sai where you fight the staff with the sai. So that's 3. Then there are 3 staff katas in Ishinru Karate. And there was another really cool kumite drill I learned back in like 2017. And I don't remember it, but it was a really cool flow drill. And I wish I still knew it. So that's what I know about staff and pole arms. It's really just staff. And the first style I learned was called Kuksul. Sometimes you'll hear me call it Hapkido. Long story behind that. But they had a staff kata as well that looked very, very different. And I've been meaning to learn that one myself. It's on my list of things I want to learn. Because it was a pretty cool looking staff kata. I would not be able to practice any of these in here. This staff is taller than me. One wrong move, I break my nice ceiling fan. All right. Thanks for tuning in, Vulpecula. I hope you had fun. Now then, back to work. Come on. Oh, I failed for like half of that set. Frick! Oh. All right, back to work. Tai Chi walking. Now, I've heard of Tai Chi, and I've sort of heard of walking. I'm not terribly familiar with it, though. But, Tai Chi walking. You know, jokes aside, it does kind of sound familiar, but I also can't remember it, which is weird. Like, oh, excuse me. If I'm gonna guess, sounds like very slow walking, really controlling the steps and the pace. If I'm remembering what I think I saw correctly, that type of thing would be really good for learning breath control, small muscle control. It'd be really good for rehabilitation. I don't think you'll get any sort of advanced fitness out of it. Oh! Bumped myself right in the hip joint with that kettlebell. Oh, not done yet. Come on. That third set was awful. Not happy about that at all. Let's take a breather. Okay. Let's check the chat, and then we'll get back to work. So, let's see here. Red Ball saying I might call it as I'm on a level that works on my legs and they're almost numb. Yeah, definitely call it there then. You want to be able to recover by the next time you tackle it. Next level is a boss level. Yeah, rest your legs. Give it at least a day. If you're curious, besides cardio stuff like running in place, been doing thigh presses, wide squats, and over the head squats. Ring raise combo, okay. And then Rusty wants to learn about the Quan Dao. Quan Dao's a really good spear. Or it's more like a halberd, isn't it? All right, here we go. Oh, that's not enough tension. Here we go. You want to go inside? Idiot cat. I'll let you in a minute. Or rather, 25 seconds. All right. Cats. Is that what you wanted? All right. The cats are inside. Wow. Minutes are feeling extra long today, guys. Okay, here we go. Last set of curls. If I can get them up. All right. All right. Good on you doing those cool down exercises. That's right, Red Wall. It's supposed to hurt. Good job. I'd say you're doing better than me. Alright, while I take this 2 minutes, I'm going to go make sure those cats aren't trying to get into my cupboards. Because they've been doing that lately. The cats better not be in my cupboards. Good news, everyone, there are no cats in the cupboards. Oh, man. Well, Red Wall, if you're calling it quits for your exercise, maybe we spread this stream around. I'm feeling extra tired. I might just do my step-ups and call it myself. Yeah, workouts will, well, the workout itself probably won't improve your morale, at least if you're anything like me. The workout's supposed to make you feel weak, but then when you recover and you're stronger and you can do things that you couldn't do before, that improves morale. Now then, we're going to do our step-ups. Or will we? I'm awful close to the ceiling fan today. What the heck? Okay, no, this is better than I thought it was. Now then, how much weight do I want to hold? Because I end up feeling it more in my shoulders than I do in the hamstrings, which is what I'm supposed to be working on. I've got a better idea. What if I wasn't a weak piece of trash? $42 pounds in each hand. Well, I failed, but I failed with like 2 seconds left on the clock. Now, Redwall, make sure you're getting your protein, your creatine, and your sleep. Someone about your size, probably going to need 30 grams of protein a day. The creatine will help build the muscle. Okay. Frick. Okay. My shoulders are giving out, guys. Oh, you have no idea how mad I am about that. Oh, crazy horror. I'm very glad that helped you. That makes me happy. Okay. Oh, I gotta set my rest timer. Okay. Let's see what chat's saying. Eggs, chicken, low-fat Greek yogurt, great sources of healthy protein. For Redwall's got to bulk up a little bit, so yeah, Greek yogurt would be great for him. He definitely could use those fats. For me, I need to cut as many freaking calories as possible. I need to stay the frick away from Greek yogurt. But eggs and chicken, salmon, and make sure you get some freaking beef in there too. At least, once, twice a week, something like that. Keep your iron levels up. Speaking of iron levels, I haven't taken my multivitamin yet today. I better make sure I do that. Alicia telling me to take care of myself again. Listen, we should have established by now that I want Brawny dead. I hate that guy. However, it would be embarrassing to fail and drop a 42-pound weight on my foot during a live stream, as hilarious and clippable as that would be. So that's the closest thing to a concession you're going to get from me. I'm glad you did those stretches, Alicia. If you can, I'd say keep doing them. Stretches are very difficult to overtrain. There's nothing but benefit to being more flexible. And you get more flexible by stretching more. And really, if you can get into a good like position that's a nice challenging stretch, but you can hold it for forever, then yeah, you can just stretch indefinitely, and you'll actually get a lot of really good.
What are some things I could do to strengthen my knees? I've noticed when I push myself, I'll get some pains in my knees. It doesn't get to where I can't walk, but my family has a history of knee problems.
Interesting. So finishing what I was talking about with Alicia there, you can always stretch more, and the more you stretch, the better you'll get at stretching. And so like just kind of gradually work yourself into it. If you're doing like minutes on minutes of the same stretch a day, you're just going to get more flexible in that area. And there's been a couple of repeated studies that showing that even just holding a stretched position will then cause muscular gains. Because what's lifting weights, for example, right? I'll grab this thing here, right? And if I'm just doing this, you know, and it's really heavy, this isn't all that heavy for me, but you get the idea, right? I do that for like a minute, and I'm putting all that the muscles under that strain. What I'm doing is I'm stretching the muscles, and then when they fill in with protein, they grow back stronger. It's the same exact thing with stretching. If you can get a deep stretch and hold it, then you're doing almost the same exact thing. Now then, for Rusty's question, knees. That begs a few other questions, right? And I'm always going to start with diagnosis. So, you know, what's your age? What's your height? What's your weight? Right? I'm going to ask if you've had any previous injuries. I'm going to ask if you have any pre-existing conditions, especially like diabetes or any other type of genetic mutation that might cause low cortisol levels in your cartilage, or low cartilage levels, or things like that, right? Cortisol, that's not the right word. Cortisol is what your body gains under stress. What the frick am I looking at? Or is it cortisol? God dang it, this is why I couldn't be a doctor. But yeah, sometimes people have genetic anomalies that'll cause them to have less of whatever is needed to go into the joints to make the joints lubricate properly or cushion properly. So I'm going to ask those questions first. And then I'm going to ask what type of exercises you're doing. And then I'm going to want to know, like, I'm going to want to see the exercises, because you might be doing the exercises wrong to cause the knee pain. Or, to go even further still, it might be normal knee pain. Because if you work a joint or a muscle, then you put it under stress, it's going to feel something akin to pain. And it could just be growing pains. This is what we expect when we get stronger. So I'm sorry I can't fully answer your question right off the bat here, but your question in itself raises like 10 other questions. So age, height, weight, pre-existing conditions, the type of exercise you're doing. Once I know that, then I'll be able to give you some ideas on how to help those knee pains. Now then, what else we got going on in chat? Let's see here. Alicia says I'm working on stretching daily while making sure I don't overdo it to hurt myself like I've done in the past. Good stuff. It looks heavy to you. It might, this weight here that I just picked up, this weight might be heavy to you, but it's only about 43 pounds, which to me is nothing. I'm not trying to brag, I'm just saying that's Heather's weight. So let's see here. What do we got? Age 32, height 6 foot, weight 220. Okay. So you're a little bit overweight. No diabetes or anything like that. Family has a history of diabetes. Okay. So you're a little bit overweight, so that might be part of it. As you lose weight, your knees are going to A, get stronger, and B, have less weight to carry around, so that'll help. So I don't see anything immediately that would cause it there, so it's probably either you're overdoing it or you're doing it wrong. And in order to know that, I would need to know what type of exercises and what sort of quantities you're doing in that. Past that, I would need to see you doing these exercises to see if you're doing them wrong in a way that would strain the knee unnecessarily, and then I can fix it from there. So just let me know what kind of exercises and quantity that you're doing, because I can work with that. Oh yeah, if you weren't ready for a 25-pound dumbbell and you just get handed one, yeah, that sucker might drag you to the ground. Now then, what's next? We really want to keep going. It's almost 3 o'clock. I should probably call it and start getting ready for classes. I haven't done heavy bag yet, but it's getting late. Let's see here. That's funny, Alicia. I saw a video the other day. This little girl, like, and I mean little, like, she was an adult, but she probably weighed 100 pounds, maybe, and she's on a Bosu ball. If you don't know what Bosu ball is, they're like one of those exercise balls, but they've been cut in half and inflated up onto a plastic platform. And you got a couple options with those. You can either flip them platform side down, and you can kind of bounce on the top of the ball, or you can flip it ball side down and stand on the platform and use that to balance, and that's really good for learning balance, coordination, and stabilizing your core muscles while you're doing whatever exercise. Anyway, we got this really skinny girl, and she's on this ball, and she turns to her friend off camera and goes, "Okay, hand me the weight now." In comes this woman who probably weighs 300 pounds. Hands her a kettlebell like it's a purse. Just, here you go, right? It had to be at least a 50-pound kettlebell. It might have even been a 75, right? Just it sort of takes a little bit of effort for me to do this with a 25-pound kettlebell, which is, you know what this is? I can't imagine doing that, just one-handing like it's nothing, a 50-pounder or a 70, God forbid, a 75-pounder. That's like professional weightlifter, levels of strength right there. Like, here you go. So she hands this kettlebell to this girl that probably weighs not much more than the kettlebell itself, and the thing just freaking drags her to the floor. I'll send that clip to you later if I can find it. Anyway, your story reminded me of that. Sorry to ramble. But I actually think I'm going to call it here for tonight. Rusty, get at me on Discord, either in the server or personally, whichever you want to do. And we'll see if we can figure out why your knees are hurting you, right? Until then, we will, maybe I'll do this on Friday. I haven't decided yet, but we'll figure it out. Until Then, if I don't see you on Friday, we'll definitely see you on Saturday for the gaming and debates.